Pac gets onto the microphone and asks, "Do you think the Death Triangle are stupid? We know what's going on. We've seen the videos, so they can see them, but the commentators have not been able to see them at all. They've never referenced them on TV. They've never reacted to them. So Pac has the special powers that all of us viewers possess. And he's heard the rumors." What rumors? "And if there are certain individuals who think they can make their return this Saturday and best them, well, that's ridiculous." And the fans start chanting elite. "And if you want some this Saturday, then please bring the heat, because Death Triangle runs from nobody." And with that, another elite video starts to air, and we get a Full Gear graphic with Death Triangle and then a blank side of the screen, and then the images of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks appear, and Pac says, "Great, we've been waiting for them," and there they are. They are back. Never an explanation of where they've been all this time, why they were gone, but they are back. They are back way from mysterious circumstances. They disappeared into thin air, and now they have been, all their particles have been reattached, and they are back in human form.
Yeah. No, I think, I mean, so much of what feels like our criticism about the company is that they're not making that much effort to cater to the fan that isn't online, that isn't following these stories. I think I probably just have to get used to the fact that, you know, this continues to be a product that it is entirely for people that listen to this podcast, people that are on the internet, people that are on Twitter, people that are, you know, on message boards and follow every single story. Essentially, Tony Khan, you know, he's booking this type of product for himself. People who know who AR Fox is, or have at least heard of him. People who know that Eddie Kingston has always wanted a dream match against Jun Akiyama. I feel like that is a bit more pronounced, you know, when they're kind of unknowns. With the Elite and CM Punk story, I get the sense that it's big enough that you could have done something like this without that much explanation, and people would realize.
I agree. I think just about everyone knows the story. I would argue, though, that makes it even more silly that you won't acknowledge it in any way. You won't say a thing about it. And it will be interesting because Tony Khan is doing a media call on Thursday, and I'm sure this will be brought up by many people, and what his tact will be, because he has to know that this is going to be the major topic going into the weekend and out of the pay-per-view is the return of these three. And it's like, I'm not saying that you have to give every last detail and your findings of the investigation, but what investigation? You have not even so much as stated there was one. Like, it's nothing. And I think for him to go into this weekend with the no comment philosophy, and I just think it's just like, what do you think of your fan base? That, like, they all know the story, but you can't even state the most non-threatening, basic statement that to just have
would be
something
satisfying for him to say that would make a difference, though.
There was a backstage incident of which we put together an investigation that was run by X, and this was our finding, and they are back on television. Like, something, anything.
And you're saying this just for the benefit of the fan that isn't aware of this stuff?
I'm saying it just from the standpoint of the company, that I think you have projected this beyond paranoia of showing the least amount of transparency in what has been a major story in the company's history, and you won't even address it or even give credence that it happened.
Right. Yeah, I mean, him saying it to me, like him saying something like what you suggested or not.
I feel there's accountability on the part of Tony Khan and the company, and I feel that by just not answering anything, I just think it's like at some point, like, there is some responsibility, I feel, on the company's part to at least give.
What's the accountability? Just to, like, but would mentioning it be accountability, or saying that you did an investigation is?
I think like, answering questions. I think that's part of it. I think you are inviting media, and I feel that is going to be a major topic. And I think there are answers that you can give that are at least acknowledging the elephant in the room. Rather than there's no law that says they have to comment. They don't have to. But I just think it's like, it's bizarre to me that they will not even acknowledge like just the basics of this. Like, this would just not fly if there was like some incident Imagine this happened with an NHL team, that they would not acknowledge anything.
I don't know. I don't really follow hockey too much to be able to say. I suppose for me, like the fact that he chooses not to comment is enough of a statement on its own. Like it tells me how sensitive he considers this, and how I don't know, how perhaps scared he might be of repercussions of simply saying one thing or the other that somebody might misconstrue, that headlines and people reading the headlines might misconstrue. I feel like I already know enough about the situation, whether or not he officially comments on it.
So the match is set. I thought this was set up really well, though. I thought, make it clear that the match is happening, and I think it is going to be. I feel by Saturday, this is going to feel like the main event to people, even above the title match. Like, I think that is going to be the big focus of the pay-per-view, is their appearance. And where do you put this on the card? Do you put this second last?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I forget if they do buffer matches too often, but yeah, you could say this for second last, and I think still retain enough interest in the main event itself. Sure, yeah, it can honestly go anywhere, probably towards the latter half of the show.